Welcome back, and today I'm going to make homemade cream cheese frosting. So let's get started. Okay, so I'm going to double this recipe, so I'm going to tell you the amounts for both. So if I was going to go ahead and do a single batch of cream cheese frosting, I would use 3 cups of powdered sugar. But I'm going to do a double batch because I always like to have leftover frosting. So we're going to start with 6 cups of powdered sugar. And I put some in here. That's how I store it, but I've got to use this up, and then I'm just going to pour the rest out of the bag. So when I'm doing powdered sugar, I just like to use this very large measuring cup instead of actually scooping it out with the dry measurer, because when you're doing frosting, you have to get the consistency correct, but it's not like chemistry. Like when you bake, you're actually doing a chemistry thing. It all has to be a certain balance. So I'm just going to go ahead and sprinkle this in, and I'm just going to try to make this level with the 6 cups. So I'm just going to kind of get down here and look. And when you do frosting, if your frosting's too dry, you could add extra milk, and if it's too wet, you could always add extra sugar. But we are going to try to get it right the first time. And I'm using this brand here. It's been around for years, and this is my favorite. Okay. All right, so we have 6 cups of powdered sugar. So we're going to set that aside. And then if we were doing a single batch, we would need 1 stick of butter, which is 4 ounces of butter. But since I'm doing a double batch, I need 2 sticks of butter. Now I have let this butter set out on the counter and soften a bit, which is always a good idea when you're making frosting or just almost about anything. And you must use real butter to get this recipe to taste absolutely delicious. So I'm just going to kind of pre-cut it up a little. Hope everybody's having a good day. I love homemade frosting. And that's why I always make extra, because you can put some extra on your cake, or you can eat it with graham crackers, or mix it in with ice cream, whatever you'd like. Okay, so there we are, 2 sticks of butter. And then I'm going to add this later after I mix up the butter, but I want to mention that the next ingredient is cream cheese. And if you were doing a single batch, this is 8 ounces, okay? So if you were going to do a single batch, you would have to cut this in half. But since I'm going to do a double batch, I will throw this entire thing in. So I'm just going to kind of get it ready. I'll open it up before I go over to the mixer. That way everything will be ready to go. And we're going to also need 4 tablespoons of milk. So I have this little measure, which is nice because you don't have to go ahead and just, go and count out 4 tablespoons on a little measuring spoon. So we're going to go get the milk, and we'll measure this out. Okay, so on the milk, if I was doing a single batch, I would only need 2 tablespoons. So since I'm doing a double batch, I need 4 tablespoons, which is going to be to this line right here. So I'm going to point this toward myself so I can see it. And then when you're doing liquid measures, you have to go ahead and kind of, this is a little bit tricky, sorry. Okay, it's a little bit tricky. I've got to get kind of level with this. Oops. All right. We're not going to cry over the spilled milk. All right, so we got that. Clean this up. Okay, so now I need vanilla, and I'm going to need 2 teaspoons of vanilla, and I think I'm just going to put it in here. There's a little bit of room. I think I can make it. So if I was doing a single batch, I'd only need 1 teaspoon, so I need 2 because I like to have all my liquid ingredients together. 1, 2. Okay, so it's gonna definitely work. I'm just going to carefully move this here, try not to spill any more milk. I do want to mention that this is whole milk. So for a richer flavor on your frosting, you definitely want to use whole milk. All right, so let's go over to the mixer and get started mixing things. Okay, so let's go over the ingredient list one more time. So we have 4 ounces of cream cheese if you're doing a single batch. We are doing a double batch, so we're going to have 8 ounces of cream cheese. The amount of butter is 4 ounces for a single batch. We are doing a double batch, so we are doing 8 ounces, which is 2 sticks of butter. If you're going to do a single batch, you're going to have 1 teaspoon of vanilla. We're doing a double, so it's going to be 2 teaspoons of vanilla. If you're doing a single batch, the amount of powdered sugar is going to be 3 cups. We're doing a double batch, it's going to be 6 cups. And for milk, it's going to be 2 tablespoons of milk for a single batch and 4 tablespoons for a double batch. So let's get started. So we're not going to use this type of whisk, but this is for very light, fluffy things like egg whites and sauces and things like that. We're not going to use our dough hook, way too aggressive. We are going to use this attachment. And if you have a handheld mixer, you're just going to go ahead and use the standard mixing attachment, not your whisk. Okay, so we're going to get this all whipped together, and then we'll gradually add our other ingredients. We're going to scrape down the sides a little because it does tend to gather on the sides. So we want it to continue to mix. So we're going to, it's nice and creamy though, so that's good. That means we softened that butter well, because it would have taken a lot longer if you didn't soften the butter. You could do it, but it's easier to let it sit out for a little bit and soften it. Okay, let's do some more mixing. Actually, we got a little bit over here too. It's very sticky, so it's kind of a little bit difficult. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to add the cream cheese, and what I'm going to do is I have a, see if you can see that, I have a butter knife over here, so I'm going to, trying to find a place for my spatula, I'm going to kind of cut up this cream cheese so I can put it in, gradually add a little bit at a time. let's scrape down the sides again. Okay, it's getting fluffy. That's good. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we are going to gradually add a little bit of powdered sugar, a little bit of the milk and vanilla mixture, and kind of go back and forth so that you'll be seeing that. I think I'm going to go get a spoon so I can kind of scoop that powdered sugar easier. Okay. Put in the rest now. Okay, time to scrape down the sides. This looks really good. Okay, we are going to keep on mixing it. Getting very close to being done. Okay, I think it is done. It looks nice and smooth. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and try to show you that. So it makes a generous amount. We're going to take it over to the counter, the other part of the countertop, and see how much we have here. All right, so that's a good amount of frosting. And that's enough for a 9 by 13 for sure. You'll probably have leftover. I purposely want leftover. If you decide to make a layered cake, it should be plenty for a layered cake and to even decorate with this. Now my favorite part, the taste test. So I want to add that this particular frosting tastes excellent on carrot cake, zucchini cake. That's the cake I made that I'm actually going to use to frost this. You can catch that in another video. Tastes wonderful on chocolate cake, white cake, yellow cake, whatever type of cake you can imagine. And if you don't have time to make cake, but you have time to make frosting, try it with dipping graham crackers in it. Tastes absolutely delicious. I like to mix it with ice cream, like with chocolate ice cream. Very, very delicious. Time for the taste test. That is good. Very, very delicious. So I hope you enjoyed this video. For those of you who subscribe to my channel, I really appreciate it. And if you don't, I hope that you do. I have a whole bunch of fun videos. I have main courses, side dishes, and my favorite desserts. Thanks for watching.